All right, kicking us off, what was the best thing you saw in February in your opinion?
Well, obviously, it was a movie starring Glenn Powell, How to Make a Killing.
I'm surprised that movie tanked
I'm not. I don't feel like there was much marketing around it either.
because the plot is great. It is like a remake, but I feel like how massive he is as a celebrity. I'm surprised that doesn't translate always into box office numbers because he's such a good actor. It's not a bad movie.
Well, I feel like it's the genre. Like, I kind of feel like people only want him in like a rom-com
You
or
think he kind of
straight
missed?
action.
You think he kind of Running Man didn't do that well either.
Yeah,
It was
but that was
go-
also a remake.
Yeah, maybe too many remakes.
Maybe the remakes aren't working.
Do you think he should have committed more to the rom com?
No.
No.
No,
Why not?
because then he never would have done Twisters.
Do you think he was strategic in not being typecast? I feel like he takes a lot maybe from a Matthew McConaughey, and I don't know. I see them similar just because they're both Texan, they're friends,
I mean, yeah, McConaughey did a lot of rom-coms.
and I felt like it took a lot for people not to see him as that guy, for his agent not to want to book him in every single rom com. I almost feel like actors now are more strategic about not being typecast.
Yeah.
Because he could have crushed it. He could have done wrong. He could have done Anyone But You too. He could have
Set It Up too. I'll take a Set It Up too, please.
an underrated Glenn Powell movie.
So good.
I think people don't realize how hard he's been working for as long as he has.
Yes.
Where it feels like he's really starting to pop off now because he's in all these big roles. But he's been in so much in the last maybe not 15 years, but at least the last decade of really good, solid movies that he's put in the work. But to some people, it just feels like he came out of nowhere.
I feel like people think that about everyone though. They're like, you just came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
then,
like
like,
they've been working. Maybe
I'm
you just
so
haven't
sick-
seen it, but
Same-
they've been working.
Same thing with Pedro Pascal. Like he kind of came and then was in every single movie last summer. And I feel like people thought, man, he's just in everything now. But he's been consistent since Game of Thrones.
You know who's been in a lot that could go away? Sydney Sweeney.
I kind of feel like she's starting to fizzle a little bit.
She could go away.
I'm still excited for Euphoria, though.
Well, yeah, but that's more Zendaya, I feel like. I know
Yeah.
she's in it, but Zendaya's the star.
Yeah, when it comes to her movies, but The Housemaid, though, she has a franchise right there. She could do,
She is
because
gonna do
there
more.
are multiple books of that, right?
Yeah, and she's already gonna do.
I found that movie entertaining. I liked it.
But because of Amanda Seyfried.
But I still think with her a part of that franchise, that could be her franchise.
Fine.
So that was your best.
Yeah, How to Make a Killing. I was very entertained. I was not bored ever.
For my best of February, I'm going to go with Send Help, which going into that movie, you didn't know if you were going to like it or not because it's classified as a horror movie, but it was a lot more campy,
Very campy.
more of a suspense thriller, and all the horror elements were very over the top. And even like the blood and
There's
guts.
some graphic scenes though.
Yeah. But it wasn't as realistic.
Correct.
And I feel like when stuff is more realistic, that's when it freaks you out a little bit more. Like if it's a Saw.
yes.
How
or
much wa-
just like gunshots and like that sort of stuff.
Which the headshot in movies has just become so normal
I don't
now.
like it.
It's so shocking that I find myself to feel more and more uncomfortable when I get worried about a character. Like, man, I don't want to see them die.
Well, and I just don't like it. I don't like that sound, and it's in so many movies.
I think there's also an element of experiencing that in a theater now where it gets so loud. I don't know. Sometimes it just makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe just because what's going on in the world
Yeah.
at any given time that it kind of puts you a little bit on edge. I enjoy the filmmaking aspect of it because it does bring emotion out in you. But sometimes I don't like that
It's a
feeling.
little too real.
I feel like getting you on board to go see it and not totally hate it was a big win.
I hadn't seen a single movie in a month, so I didn't see anything in January.
Oh,
so there's
yeah?
nothing good out. So I think I was just itching to go back to the movies.
I just really enjoyed it, and I feel like it brought back, in a good way, a fun theater experience where, for me, it's really hard when people recommend a movie to me that's just fun. Or like, hey, go to the theater and have fun. I don't necessarily want to go and have fun. It's not like a roller coaster experience.
I would like to
me.
go and be miserable. I don't like fun.
I want to go and feel. I want to go and take something away from a movie. When something is queued up as me as being fun, I lessen my expectations of it. What about your worst?
It's got to be Crime 101.
Really?
Yes.
The Chris Hemsworth, Halle Berry, Mark Ruffalo
Plotless
movie?
film. A plotless film that had so many different character arcs didn't need to be included. Was I entertained? Sure. It's still the worst I saw this month because it had no plot.
That was the weird part about it, is I was entertained the entire time, but by the end of it, don't want to ruin it, but by the end of it, I was like, what was the purpose of that?
That's what I'm saying. What was the point? Why was this movie made?
So what the movie was about,
It had a plot?
well,
There's a description?
there's 3 individuals and one crime connects them all. Chris Hemsworth is like an elusive thief who is plotting a big heist. Halle Berry is unhappy with her job. And Mark Ruffalo is obsessed with finding Chris Hemsworth's character. So it's how all their lives intertwine, all revolving one heist. And then you have a lot of random intentions that don't really make sense throughout the movie. I feel like it was trying to be more sophisticated than it was. And I think that's why the plot ended up not working for me, where it was like, where did this even go? It was a lot of style, not a whole lot of substance, but still somehow so entertaining all the way throughout.
I think I kept waiting for it to have like
A moment or like a hook or
thread
something.
that kind of, and I know they were all connected, but I was waiting for that like final thread to reveal itself
Yeah.
or be pulled, and it just wasn't. But again, entertained.
Yeah, I just feel like they had this idea, and whenever they finally made the movie, there was no execution in.
I think there's a lot of stuff left on the cutting room floor, which is like, how is there stuff left? Because it was over 2 hours.
I also think that they kind of changed Chris Hemsworth's character from beginning to end in a bad way, where I feel like movies have to have this. You have to know the intentions of every single character and their morale and their like ethics and like what they will do and what they won't do and what makes them the way they are. I feel like they didn't have that with all the characters, where it was like, okay, he's going to do this way. He's going to be so meticulous about every single crime he plots out. His whole thing is he doesn't leave behind any evidence. He doesn't hurt anybody. And then by the end of the movie, he doesn't really hold true to all the things he was in the beginning. It just feels like at the end, they were just like, yeah, let's just do whatever. Let's just try to make an entertaining ending, and let's just have things go off the rails because we think that'd be the best way to close out this movie.
I almost felt like they brought in like a different writer midway.
It was like, yeah, it was almost like they split directors. Like, all right, somebody else finish this thing.
It's like 2 different films.
Yeah. But still
entertaining.
it's like I wouldn't tell people not to watch it, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't think we got any benefit of seeing it in theaters. I think you could watch it at home and have the same experience. So as much as I question all the intentions of the film and the decisions they made with all the characters, I would still encourage people to kind of make your own judgment on it whenever it comes to streaming.
And you could multitask while watching it.
Yeah,
You're not going to miss anything.
There's not that crazy of a plot line throughout that. For my worst of February, I'm going to go with I Can Only Imagine 2. And I feel bad about it.
Why?
Because I got to meet Milo, who you know from
Gilmore Girls, This Is Us, all of his roles.
I only know him from This Is Us, really. And when you were like Gilmore Girls instantly, I was like, I didn't even know he was in that.
Well, yeah, you asked me, you were like, oh, do you remember Milo Ventimiglia from This Is Us? And I was like, do you mean Jess Mariano from Gilmore Girls? Yes, I'm aware.
How prominent was he in that show? Was he
huge?
So he wasn't just like a one season type character?
No.
Oh, yeah, I had no idea.
He was one of Rory's boyfriends. And so many, the discourse of when people are like, Team Dean, Team Jess, Team Logan. Have you ever heard any of that discourse?
No. From Gilmore Girls?
Yes.
No, I didn't
so
know
those
there
were
were
like her
teams.
3 boyfriends throughout the show. And you are like very in a camp of which team you are.
No, I remember when we went to Universal in Los Angeles, we drove by like the set. Was it the gazebo?
Yes.
That's what it was. And it's one of those shows I've seen random episodes because it was one of those just broadcast TV shows that was on.
And I rewatch it.
And I would catch it and then you rewatch it in the fall. But it's not one that if you quiz me on any plot lines of any characters that I would even fully get. I knew him primarily from This Is Us.
Great role. Phenomenal.
I know he was in Heroes, but I don't really remember him in that show.
He was huge in that too. That was right after Gilmore. That was like his Gilmore, then Heroes, then This Is Us.
And I think I felt bad for not enjoying this movie after I met him, and he was like a really nice guy. For those who don't know, I also produce a podcast called Bobbycast, and I am always the one who goes and gets the guests, and not every time do people wanna have a conversation with me. I don't think anything of it, but, like, instantly, I just felt like he was, like, just a genuinely nice person who, like, started talking to me like he knew me, and he was just so nice
That says
from
a lot about people too,
Yeah.
about how they treat anyone else who is not the main
Yes,
person involved in any type of entity.
and I think it was because he was arguably one of the most famous people we've ever had just because he's been in TV for so long, even though, like I've been mentioning, I'm not the biggest fan of all his projects. I understood the magnitude of where he is.
Yeah.
And for somebody to be that famous, that recognizable, to be that nice, you're like, why can't everybody else be this nice? Not saying that we've had a bunch of people who are jerks, but
But I feel like it's always the people. I mean, you've talked before. You've said that like Dolly Parton's one of the nicest people. Garth Brooks. Like, I think people that are of that level get to that level because they are genuine
yeah,
and they are kind to everyone. And it's not an act. It's not a I'm only nice to people to get where I want, but it's just like that's who they are as people, and that is how they've gotten to where they are because they are kind to everyone.
I think that's how you stay at the top of being that. You have to be that genuine, and it has to be who you are as a person because if it's an act, it's gonna run out. It's just crazy to me that I don't wanna say the worst people I've encountered, but the people who have been the less give a crap about my type of role are always the people who just have like are just starting out in their success or maybe have a little bit of success and they feel like they're a lot bigger than they are in reality.
I think that the people like Milo, like you imagine all the projects he's probably ever like auditioned for, and
Yeah.
he's probably lost some big ones. And I think it's the people that have gone through the ups and downs of success that have a better perspective and know that like any entity in Hollywood or a podcast is made up of a bunch of people. And like you
Yeah.
need to be nice. Like, have you seen that video going around of the coach from UCLA asking his players, like, what's the name of the person who cleans
Oh,
the
yeah,
building?
yeah.
What's the name of
Yeah.
the people who make your breakfast in the morning? And he's like, you know every single person's name in this building. He's like, that's an order. Like, they are part of our team. They're not cooking just for you. They're not cleaning up after you. They are a part of this organization. And so I think that mindset that no one is beneath you. And I think sometimes when people are starting out, they get a little full of
Yeah.
themselves.
And they always come back around to if
Yes.
they have a long career where they're like, oh, yeah, I should have been nicer to people. And it's kind of you learn from experience and by having the negative effects of treating people that way, that if you end up having success, you kind of come back around to like, yeah, I should treat everybody a little bit nicer. Or unless you're just a jerk.
But I think the longevity in people like Milo, because I mean, Gilmore Girls started in 2000.
Yeah. I mean, he was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the 90s.
Yeah.
He's been around forever.
So it's like, I think those people who have been through the ups and downs of success and know like how fleeting it's like he probably did Gilmore Girls and then was like, well, I get another project, and then Heroes was
Yeah.
big, and then it's like, well, I get another big TV project, and you get This Is Us. So it's like it's never guaranteed.
Yeah, with actors, I think some people don't realize how much they have to fight for every single job and how it's not guaranteed. Where I try to be more considerate of when I see somebody do a role that I'm like, really? I'm like, well, they have a big team, they have a family to feed. Sometimes it's just a paycheck.
Chris Hemsworth talked about
Yeah.
that recently about doing films that maybe aren't like the hardest role or like the biggest storyline or like the most in-depth acting career, but he's like, I have a dad with Alzheimer's to care for. I have a family. I have children. And like, in the same way that a lot of us go to work some days not wanting to go to work,
Yeah.
like it's a job, it's a paycheck. And I know that there's a lot of discourse around like celebrities being rich. And I feel like there's been a bunch of discourse recently with like the
Yeah.
GoFundMe's for James
Yeah.
Vanderbeek and Eric Dane. But it's like, I don't think that they're all, sure, are a lot of them better off than most people?
Yes.
But are they rolling in it so much that like medical bills
Mhm.
don't affect them at all? And I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I think some people don't realize that just because somebody was famous in the 90s or had a big role in the 2000s, that they're set for life. Because I think some of these Hollywood jobs we see as being like they fully made it. Some of these people didn't make a whole lot of money off those shows. Or you don't realize that some shows that may be so impactful through really cutting through pop culture, sometimes they're only on like 3 seasons. And you're like, that'd be like you having a job for 3 years and then you live the rest of your life off of that. Just because you become known for those roles doesn't mean that those roles pay the bills for the rest of your life.
I also think, and this is a hot take, I'm sure, but regarding some of the celebrity GoFundMe's, I don't think that they're started for like the average working American to give their last $5 for the month or their grocery budget. I think it is a way for people like Spielberg to give 25K or Hailey Bieber to give 20K.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it is meant for people to give everything they have. And if you want to, that's great. But I've seen the discourse and I'm like, I think it's interesting. Yes, sure. Did they probably have more money than most people? Would they have been fine? But it's like, you don't have to donate. It's a choice to click on that.
With that being said, that's why I feel bad for putting this as my worst of the month. But I will say, I think it's because I wasn't a fan of the band Mercy Me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been very open about feeling that the entire biopic genre is just a little bit stale.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no connection to the artist, and the story itself didn't really resonate with me. Overall, Milo's performance was good in it. At the end of it,
Still didn't work.
And I feel bad about it. But I would say that about a lot of the recent music biopics that we've watched. The Bob Dylan movie,
Bored.
Song Sung Blue, like
Springsteen,
like all these, like that's why I'm really hesitant about the Michael Jackson movie coming out this year, because I just feel that whether it's I Can Only Imagine 2 or any other music biopic, there's just this formula that they stick to that I feel has been just overdone. Like, I've watched this movie so many times. The way they dramatize things around music, I just feel like that it's not realistic. It always has like this bigger, larger than life feeling to me that I just want a more down to earth, gritty music biopic that feels a little bit more set in reality and less just overly polished and produced.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the problem I've been having with music biopics. Not just this. This one just happens to be the one of the month.
There you go.
But those are our best and worst of the month when it comes to movies. We always do TV shows.
I'm going to wrap my TV show and my book of the month together.
Okay.
All right. TV show is Love Story on FX. I'm obsessed. I think I've talked on here before about my deep fascination with the Kennedy family.
Yes.
And I will say I feel bad because I know that Jack Schlossberg, who is Jackie O and JFK's grandson, so Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg's son, JFK Jr.'s nephew, has spoken out that like the family doesn't really approve of this show.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. So it is the story of JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. And it starts, this isn't a spoiler, I think everyone knows that they untimely perished in a plane accident in 99.
Mm-hmm.
But it starts with like that day. And then you go back through their love story. And it just, I love it so much.
Looks very cinematic. Like, I haven't sat down and watched an episode with you.
The soundtrack.
But just the way it looks, I'm like, that looks like a good show.
They ended the episode this week with Name by the Goo Goo Dolls, and I just about died. Okay, so then my book is White House by the Sea by Kate Story, Storey. And I did the audiobook for this. And it is the story of how the Kennedys kind of came to be synonymous with Hyannisport. So it's about how they have their like big Kennedy compound up there, and just the story of all the Kennedys, starting with Rose and Joe Sr. all the way through kind of like the current generation of the Kennedys. Fascinating. I talk more about that on my new book Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
That I made. It is Kelsey Rod Reads. So that's KelseyRodReads. And it is a public Instagram where I'm sharing everything I'm reading, book news I'm excited about. So if you're interested in that, please go follow. It also has a link to my Goodreads and my story graph.
We'll link it all in the episode notes too.
But yeah, it's been really fun. I try to respond to every DM there about books. So I've had some really good conversations with people about different books they're reading, what they're all looking forward to. So it's really fun.
I mean, we always get a great response whenever you talk about books on here.
Yeah.
People
and
have been wanting.
I would like to, hold on, let me go get it from the bookshelf.
Okay. Kelsey is going to the bookshelf. She's pulling a children's book from the bookshelf.
So I would like to highlight this book. It is called Norman at Your Service. And a listener of the pod reached out, and this is about their service dog, Norman. And it's called Norman at Your Service, My First Day. And it is adorable. This is a real picture of Norman. He's so cute.
I love the illustrations in the book.
The illustrations are amazing, and it is just about him being a service dog, and it's adorable. So everyone check out Norman at your service.
And it's at my reading level, which I love.
A picture book.
For my show and book, the show was...
Oh, you have a book?
Yeah, the show was Steel with Sophie Turner.
Oh, yeah.
Which was about her working at a company, and then some people come in to rob the company, and then there's a whole big conspiracy behind it. Started out great. Episode 1, I was like, this is intense. I'm in. And then it got...
Could have been a movie,
yeah,
I think,
it was
instead of a series.
It was one of those shows that could have been a movie. This entire series could have been an email. Where those first 2 episodes were great, but then once you realize where it's going, you're like, that's it?
Yeah.
But I feel like we're getting this more and more where it just feels like streaming services like to stretch out stories because it keeps people on their platform a little bit longer. And we're getting mini series where we should have got something a lot shorter just because they're like, let's get more content out of this.
Yeah, we kind of, it got to the point where we were like, oh, we should finish that show.
There was one episode of it that was completely useless. It was so boring and went nowhere. And then it was just one of those shows that I was like, I need to know how this ends. I could have stopped probably after 3 or 4, but I could have skipped to the last episode and just figured it out. And like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
So don't really recommend it. I would probably give it, I like Sophie Turner though, so I'd probably still give it 3 out of 5 offices.
I love Sophie Turner.
She's really good. I can't wait to see her in the new Tomb Raider movie.
She's going to be great.
And for my book, I did it. I finally finished a book, Project Hail Mary. All 476 pages of it.
I'm so excited that you read it because then we can have really good discourse about book versus movie when we go see the movie in IMAX in 2 weeks.
IMAX 70 millimeter, which I am so excited about because it's a massive screen. I think this is the most excited I've ever been to see a movie that I've read the book. And this is only the second one I've ever done.
What was the first?
I read all the Hunger Games books.
Oh, Harry Potter?
I didn't read all the Harry Potter books.
That's right. Okay.
But also when those, I don't think I saw.
Actually, you haven't read all the Hunger Games books because there's a new movie this year and you haven't read that book.
I didn't read the prequels. Do I need to read those now too?
Maybe.
I didn't see all the Harry Potter movies in theaters.
Okay.
So that wasn't the same experience of reading the book and then seeing it in theaters. Hunger Games, I read all the books before and then went to go see all the movies in theaters. But I feel because of Project Hail Mary being so science heavy and there being some things that I just didn't understand visually in my head while reading it,
same,
that I can't wait to see it. The annoying thing now is I feel like people are spoiling the story with all the reviews and the stills from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've read the book, it's kind of spoilers to know and to see some of these things where I guess it's not in context of just watching it as a movie, but that's also what motivated me to finish it so quickly. I mean, I've had like 3 months to read it at this point, but it really made me kick it into high gear because I felt that people were starting to spoil things more and more because they were showing images that didn't line up where I was reading at the moment. And
that happened to me.
And I'm like,
I had just started the book and we saw the trailer in theaters and it ruined a big
people
plot
were
point.
Really upset about the trailer.
Yeah, I think they spoiled too much.
Because they're trying to entice people to come see it, but what they are using is ruining it for anybody who wants to read the book beforehand or not know all those details.
Yeah.
But
which is why sometimes I don't like trailers.
I know, but I love a space movie. I loved all the characters. I enjoy reading again. But it's so hard. I'm such a slow reader. It's so hard for me. It took me 3 months basically to read this book.
It's okay.
It's that feeling you get that once you want to pick it up because you're excited to.
I read plenty of books that I like that take me a while that I don't want to pick back up.
But then I
force myself. If I got it from the library, I'll totally do not finish, or DNF as the readers say. Yeah. But if I bought it and then it's one I'm like, I don't really like, I force myself to push through.
I would like to read more.
You should read some Stephen King.
Yeah.
Really long though.
Yeah, I know.
Really long.
I kind of feel like over 400 was hard.
Oh yeah, some of those are like 800.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. Maybe I'll go back to like a 300, a 330 book.
Yeah.
And then to close us out, let's recap all of the movies we saw in February. I watched The Wrecking Crew on Amazon, which was the Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista movie. A solid action movie.
Sounds like just a beef.
It was a lot of muscle, a lot of testosterone.
Big, beefy guys.
But it was from the director of Blue Beetle, which I just love him.
I loved that movie.
So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. We finally watched If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You on HBO Max.
Really sad.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as I was expecting. Rose Byrne's performance was top notch. I didn't leave loving that movie. A little, I don't want to say too abstract.
A little too abstract.
Yeah, maybe it was a little bit too, and I like abstract movies.
It's kind of one of those where it's like, not they dance around things, but you hear a character's voice and you don't see them till the end. You see a plot point and it doesn't get like unraveled till the middle. Like they reveal things throughout the movie instead of like just showing you and telling you a story. It's like things are alluded to and then they reveal them. And that kind of style isn't my favorite.
And I got the message of it, but I just think the overall execution of it I didn't love. Although Conan O'Brien is like really making a push to being an actor lately. He's in that. He's going to be in the new Toy Story movie. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Wuthering Heights, which I thought people felt they either loved it or hated it. I saw a lot of hate.
I have a friend who loved it, and I was like, just kind of bored.
We went to go see it, and we got busted.
Okay, so we immediately walk in, and the woman's like, "Can I check your bag?" I'm like, "Excuse me?"
It's reminded me of when we were younger and we would cross the border and they'd have to like check us. I was like, oh no, this car is loaded of fruits and vegetables.
And I'm thinking I have a whole bag of like Boom Chicka popcorn, my not cheap Swedish candies that I'm like, please don't make me throw away. I'll go put these in the car.
Because we always take snacks. We're loaded up.
Yeah.
We got drinks.
I don't mind movie theater popcorn, but I'm not buying your $8 candy. They don't even have many gluten-free options. Anyways, you have like a drink in my purse. You have a snack. And I'm like,
the look on your face, your eyes got so wide and you were like, oh,
I
no.
go, it's just a lot of tampons in there, which there weren't even any tampons. I have used that logic before. That would have worked if it was a man checking the bags. It was a woman.
Unfazed.
And she goes, oh, it's fine. I just need to make sure you don't have any alcohol. And then I'm like, oh, no. And then I open the bag. She sees all my snacks and is like, okay, cool. So I guess they just don't want people sneaking in drinks. But I literally just go, it's a bunch of tampons because, again, women aren't phased. Men, I have used that before, sneaking candy into a different movie. That guy turned so bright red and was just like, yep, you're good. You're in.
Don't need to see it.
Truly. He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So that trick worked. Not this time, but yeah. But then it didn't happen the next time we went. So I think it's maybe just like really busy Friday nights.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably an issue with people bringing in, I don't know, beers and like bottles of stuff to get drunk at the movies.
Movie theater alcohol is expensive.
It is. I mean, imagine a drink is $8. Could you imagine a beer at the movie? I've
a drink is actually more than $8 now.
It's more than $8?
Yeah, it's like $9 with our 10% discount.
I mean, dang, that's crazy.
That's another reason why I don't want to buy snacks at the movie. It's so expensive.
No, I mean, that's why people don't go as much.
But yeah, so we got busted.
We did get busted.
But not really busted.
We talked about Crime 101. I threw some shade at Song Sung Blue, which is on Peacock now. I gave that one a 2.5 out of 5. Again, just music movies.
Yeah.
Not big on them. Goat was okay. I thought it was going to be, I think if the animation wasn't as
cool as it was,
I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. And I love a good kids movie. We were probably the only two adults in there without kids.
We went to see it on like a Saturday morning at like 11.
Yeah. I just think the story was, I've seen it before. But,
I think I've seen this film before.
But the visuals are great because it's the same studio who does K-pop Demon Hunters and Into the Spider-Verse. So it had that style. But I think maybe it was the voice acting for me where it just felt like they got a bunch of celebrities that I feel like didn't really feel like all the characters to me.
They didn't emote.
Yeah. That just didn't quite do it for me.
I'm ready for Hoppers.
Oh, yeah. That comes out this week.
I'm ready for that.
That's going to be good.
Listen, I love an animated movie. We saw the preview for the new Minions movie.
Yeah, it looks good.
Hilarious.
At one point, one of them is in the bathroom needing toilet paper.
And he unwraps a mummy.
And then the mummy
genius
dies.
Slapstick comedy.
And then finally, we closed out the month with watching Rental Family, which is now on Hulu.
make this news fast.
I think this was the most requested movie for us to review.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Everybody's like, when are you going to go see Rental Family? And we didn't get a chance to see it in
And we
theaters.
wanted to.
We wanted to. And then it was like the $20 rental for a while. But now you can watch it free on Hulu. So I was like, all right, we're finally going to watch this movie. People said we're going to love it. I love a good... It had all the things I love. I love Brendan Fraser. I love movies that are based in Japan. I love lower budget movies that are just supposed to make you feel good. And it just didn't connect with me.
It just didn't pack a punch.
Yeah. It was like almost trying to overly tell an emotional story because it's about him. He's an actor, moves to Japan, really only gets like a literal commercial job, and then just starts acting in other people's lives to like help them out. Like acting as like
a hired
hired great concept, but I think overall it's just like kind of like with Crime 101. I was like, where was the good part?
Yeah, I think I ended up needle pointing during it.
Yeah. But maybe somebody else would enjoy it.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was slower. And I feel like when we watch a movie at home, to keep my attention, it needs to be faster paced.